So the customer and I talked. We're gonna go ahead and pull this head off, both heads probably. I'll start with this one just to make sure it ain't like something stupid easy. This is the side with the low compression, you can see 75. And we'll go ahead and yank everything off. I started as I was talking to my brother so I could be working and talking at the same time, but started yanking out these crossbar bolts. Supposed to help stabilize the front end. More just junkyard shenanigans that I was doing back in the day. It's just 13 millimeters, and then there's 2 of them up there. And it's actually dimpled for it. I think these bars are out like a Cadillac or something like that. And then these were out of a lot of factory G-bodies came with this. You just got to see if it's actually optioned. Same thing down here. There's a you can see this bar right here. This car came with these, but then there's actually a bar that came across, I think, for the JPs or the Grand Prix, and that just helped triangulate this front end. I think it's G-body parts actually made one. It's all welded together. Maybe it's UMI. Anyways, neither here nor there. Just more junkyard shenanigans. We're gonna start just pulling stuff, labeling, bagging, and one step at a time, and we'll see how long it takes us. I really wish the car wasn't on jack stands. Might lower it, 'cause I'm going to push the car out. I think I ain't gonna let it sit in here. I don't know. So much. Let's get to work. Intake's off. You can tell been port matched. The intake had the same type of grinding to port match, so that's kind of cool. We know there was some love shown to this motor, and I know the builder or previous owner of it, and I would expect nothing less. And plus what I was told was done to the motor. They get a little water right there. I was trying to really not do that, but it ain't a big deal. We're gonna change the oil anyway, but just kind of putting the camera around and looking at it. The good part about that A4 intake is it's aluminum. Let's see, we can look at the valve here. That's intake. It was good. They are kind of a little grimy, but the A4 intake, it definitely was liked. That was nice being aluminum. I was really expecting to have a challenge, but I don't see nothing, and hopefully we'll just kind of observing what we got going on with ports. Definitely a little gasket material. It did not have a turkey tray. It was just regular gaskets, which I thought was interesting because I noticed that it had this this fabric type gasket going on. So, but I'm going to continue to the rockers, and then we got a few pulleys to remove to get where, because they bolt to the actual head itself, and we'll keep on marching along. So we're making good progress here. As you can see, we got the rockers off. They're all labeled and bagged. I try to keep them in the same exact spot. Really don't think that matters, but safe than sorry. Oh, what else? We just got all the bracketry off. It ain't hard. It's just kind of the right process. That's the only thing that's kind of annoying. But no, it only took about 10 minutes. So, oh, what else we got? Still nothing crazy yet. Still looks just like it should, which again, we go back to, we shouldn't find nothing abnormal, being we're blaming everything on this valve here. So next step is to start loosening up our head bolts, and that should be it. Get a little pry bar, we'll lift the head off, and we will see what we have going on. So I just wanted to, like I said, give a little update. Header bolts are out, not bad. Little mini ratchet wrench. Got everything that's laying to the side, disconnected the battery in the rear. Just took the positive off. All right, I don't think there's really anything else to talk about other than just I'm gonna get a big pull bar and I'm going to loosen them in the reverse order you would tighten them, which is nothing but so usually you'll tighten it and you do like a big circle out. This time I'm going to work ourselves in. So, alrighty. All the bolts are loose. They were really tight, which as they should be. And I just had the light bulb go off on the previous video. When I do the leak down check, you're going to see that I go over to this exhaust pipe and we can hear the air coming out of it. Then we go over this exhaust pipe and we can hear the air go out of it, right? And I thought that was strange when I was editing the video on why would the exhaust be coming out both sides when this is a true dual engine. And it was really loud on video and that just baffled me. Well, I know why now. So the exhaust crossover. If you don't know, Oldsmobile used this to help heat up the intake manifold and get heat into the motor, and then, you know, to help with drivability. Was this exhaust valve's leaking? Well, guess what path is shared to both sides? So that answers why we had a true dual exhaust with air coming out of both sides, which to me adds even more value to the fact of how bad it was leaking, because it was pretty prominent on both sides. But anyways, just hit me with that. Wanted to share that with y'all. I'm just gonna continue taking these bolts out. You can see that they're all loose, especially see that one. And get ready to yank this off, and I'll show y'all. Hopefully we see something not bad, but an easy fix, but something that definitely needs to be corrected. Well, the head's off. Did a little bit of vacuuming. We have a lot of water that went into our cylinders, but everything appears so far as this side of it to be as you would hope. So don't see anything that stands out. I mean, it's kind of whatever. Gonna get some transmission oil fluid and put them down here and just try to really coat everything. Like I said, there was water that got here, but I want to show this part before we go to the head. Ain't nothing special, so let's go to the workbench. Here's our head. Let me see if I see anything. Nothing's really noticeable to me. I mean, kind of a cleaned up valve there, really carbon, but nothing big. It's just shiny, look like maybe a little oil or something. Nothing special. You can see the upgraded valve springs, how we got dampeners in it to help handle the higher lift. This is where we want to make our money. So I believe, let's see, it should be cylinder. Are we? Yep, so that's the front. So we were saying this one. This valve right here is our corporate, our enemy. Don't really see nothing, you know, crazy. And that's kind of what I thought. I'm figuring it's like a burnt valve or something, to be truthful. But if anything, we'll kind of clean it up a little bit. These are going to go to the machine shop, but I don't see anything bent or sideways. Literally, that could be a potential issue. Well, that came off easy. We've been up here a million times. Oh, gunk. It's kind of, you know, inspecting this is what I'm talking about. You see how it shares? Both of these ports feed into this exhaust changeover. I talked to the owner about just blocking these. I'm really surprised the guy who sold it to him didn't do it. But all right, well, nothing special. I do have a C-clamp. Remove this exhaust valve. We'll check it out. So far, I mean, the biggest thing now is like, ooh, is there a crack? That was kind of my first fear. Some of this, you can see those plugs. I mean, someone's really went through this. Place the freeze plugs. That bolt's broke. I don't use these in a way. It'll actually distort your header because all the other bolts are in the center. Then all of a sudden you put one on the top with headers, he'll kink it. And with manifolds, you don't have to worry about because it's such thick metal, but headers is, you know, nowhere near as thick and not as hard as cast iron manifolds versus whatever steel they use for headers. But let's look at the next step, which is getting the valve out. So got the keeper, the dual valve spring, all that out. Figured we'll go through it together. I can see this valve seat was not on there at all. Short pause here in the middle of this clip. While I was taking these heads apart, I have forgotten about this style of seal. I have used or ran into them in the past, but I don't deal with them that often. So just a lack of knowledge at that time. I am aware now that this is a umbrella style seal that just kind of just keeps the oil from going directly to the head, you know, just kind of shrouds it instead of what I'm more used to seeing the with actual like a seal instead of this umbrella style. So, but you'll see my lack of knowledge at the time, and I have corrected that now. Trying to get it off. Let me zoom y'all out if I can. There we go. But this looks almost reused. Oh my goodness. I mean, I don't think that was changed. Huh. I could be wrong. Put this back. Just taking our time. So here it goes. What do we have here? Nothing noticeable. Looking for me. Oh, look. See where it's riding here? And right here is just carbon. Let me get a flashlight. Got our flashlight. Look at that area where that seat is. It's nice and wide right there. And as we get up there, it's not even on the seat really anymore. Huh. It's almost like the valve isn't even centered. It's just barely riding on it. You can see there's a chunk right there. Let me take another one out and we'll compare it. So yesterday was a short day. I had some activities with the family. So this is Monday afternoon. We went ahead and yanked the passenger side off. I super coated everything with automatic transmission fluid. That's what that rag is soaked with, and I'm just gonna go ahead and cover everything till we get everything from the machine shop. Nothing noticeable, nothing great that we found about what we thought. Everything's been labeled and bagged. Got a few tools to put up, but we can go over here to, this is the passenger side head. If you kind of look, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, what's different? I would go to that exhaust valve, and that is the one we have an issue with. Now, could that be because we removed it? Well, I also removed that one. I removed that one. And they still don't look like that one. Looks like maybe, I don't know. It's different, right? I'm not no expert in any of this. Just kind of stating obvious. So I'm going to drop these off by the machine shop tomorrow. let them hopefully just do the crack check, resurface, regrind the valves, and have this back in a couple of days or no later than the next week, we hope, and put this back together. And hopefully this will be a hot rod again. I am really debating on going ahead and checking CCs of everything and grinding some off the surface. The owner thinks it's like 11-to-1. After seeing the pistons, I do not believe it's going to be 11-to-1, being that they are slightly dished. If I recall correctly, those pistons are probably like 15 cc's. This is probably, if I remember correctly, like 70, 80. So it being, I think the other one was completely open, I believe that would have been like a like 8-to-1, but being this is like a partially closed, I believe this is going to be like a 9 to 9.5-to-1. And if we can grind off like 30 thousandths, maybe we can get to like a 10 or like 9.8 or something. But I don't know, being that this is supposed to have a Lunati Voodoo cam, maybe it's different. But anyway, just want to give you an update. We're going to drop these off. This head was a lot harder to get off, just stating something else I noticed. Don't know if that really makes a difference. I wouldn't think so. But it did take a pry bar versus the other head, just kind of just lifted on its own. And these bolts did seem a lot tighter, but it could have been, I was having to push on this side and I was pulling on that side, and I felt stronger or more consistent on this head. But anyways, thanks for coming by. Hopefully this helped somebody, and we'll get on to the next project on this 403 hopefully shortly, and stay tuned.